Society wants to make life unbearable for men.
The Home Secretary, Yvette Cooper, announced that extreme misogyny could be treated as terrorism.
Society wants to make life unbearable for men. So, I mean, we know what's going on right now where men are being punished for just about everything that is happening around us, which is another reason why you should be protecting yourself, your online privacy with NordVPN. Click the link description to get started, support the channel. We know what's happening and we're seeing how society is demonizing us. And now, so you could be charged with terrorism for misogyny now in the UK. And they won't define exactly what extreme misogyny is, but basically, women are celebrating this. Watch the end of the video to fully understand why society wants to make life unbearable for men, what the implications are for this, how men are going to respond to this, and how it's going to affect women going into the future. And now let's just go ahead and jump right back into the video.
That's a change in legislation because it's not seen as an extreme ideology, and she's trying to change that in the wake of the two very high profile attacks of women and girls in the UK. So I actually welcome this decision, but with caution, because whilst I think that tackling the issue of the manosphere is really important because it is a form of radicalization and extremism, it's a part of far-right radicalism actually, and I think the reason why misogyny isn't one treated as like a hate crime like some people call for that, or it is only now being looked at as maybe an extremist ideology, is because misogyny is depoliticized. It's not seen as a political issue because it's something of the private sphere, you know, interpersonal relations with each other. But like I said, I do welcome this with caution because obviously the police have had a hand in misogynistic violence in the UK. Sarah Everard is just one example of many.
So, guys, this is just insane stuff. And in the same breath that she is attacking men, she's also attacking the police. In other words, here's the thing that they don't understand: the police outrank women in the state. They are enforcers of the state. Women do not rank above the cops. They think that they're going to control the police officers, and that because police officers are enforcers, so they think that they're special privileges in society, and that's what they are. They're not rights. Their privileges will extend beyond the enforcers of the state. They don't understand that it absolutely does not. They are under the authority of the state. They should, women basically traded in men for the state. Now they are under the authority of the state. They operate as agents of the state. Police officers, law enforcement, they operate as agents of the state. They are enforcers of the state's will. Women believe that they can now bully police officers and members of law enforcement, even using a law like this. So police officers should also be subjected to these terrorism charges. This is crazy stuff. All this is going to do is further alienate the relationship between men and women and push men further away from women in relationships. This is just another attempt by the state to control men and to investigate men and basically keep every aspect of our lives under view. In other words, it wants to monitor us and surveil us at all given times. And women in Western society, as you can see their issue is with the manosphere. They are angry that you have male spaces now existing once again, because they've successfully had broken up men, and they men were being completely destroyed in society. And then what did men do? Men created a space called the manosphere. And in the manosphere is not centralized around women. In the manosphere, it's actually a series of different things. It has everything to do with from fitness, wealth building, things like real estate, politics, public affairs, cryptocurrency. These are all topics that exist in the manosphere. So women are, talking about dating and relationships. Those are only a part of the things in the manosphere, but they are not the central focus of the manosphere. But women do not like this. They do not want any spaces that are male dominated. They want no male dominated spaces. This is why they don't even want men speaking among themselves in video game lobbies, playing games together. Men need to be monitored because they don't want men to come together and to start talking amongst themselves and getting ideas like, hey, we're not being treated fairly. We need to do something about it. Okay? Women are extremely afraid of men talking amongst themselves. How can I prove this? It's been like this for a long time. Where do you think prohibition came from? Prohibition resulted because women back in the 1920s did not like the fact that men were getting together and talking amongst themselves at bars. Prohibition was not about alcohol. Prohibition was about the bars, and it was about male spaces. They did not like male dominated spaces. They did not like men coming together amongst themselves because they believed that by keeping men divided, women can then do what they want to do in society and control public policy. When they brought about prohibition, men then began meeting at coffee shops, and those began to replace, the bars, which were predominantly male dominated spaces. Women then began protesting the coffee shops and demanding that coffee shops be closed down. It was absolute lunacy. Eventually, however, women got frustrated of not being able to get drunk. So they then turned around and began demanding that prohibition be lifted. And the same people who had prohibition banned that had prohibition repealed because they couldn't go without getting drunk. They couldn't go without getting tipsy. This is the history. That's the true history of prohibition. Okay? Just like how I've told you the true history of the Roman Empire and the fall of the Roman Empire. There are people who want to come up with different stories, and no. Okay, they were basically over-relying on indentured servitude labor because men walked away from society, and eventually all the resources of the empire were being spent to subsidize the living of women. Men were called worse than all of the criminals. Single men were called worse than all of the criminals in all of the Roman Empire. Men walked away from society, and eventually the Roman Empire no longer they were no longer producing anything. They no longer had soldiers. They no longer had police officers. The emperor had nothing whatsoever. The emperor had slaves. That's how they were operating. Basically the barbarians, found that because there were barbarians running around at that point, lots of them. They realized the emperor could not protect itself. The emperor had no clothes. The empire could not protect itself. The empire's men had long fallen and walked away, and most of the men were now the children of Chad and Tyrone, and they pillaged the empire, and we were plunged into 1,000 years of darkness. And there's some people who want you to believe that that actually didn't happen. The Dark Ages didn't actually happen. It was it didn't happen like that. There were actually the empire actually split. And yes, while part of the Roman Empire fell into darkness, another part remained nice and active, and everything was okay. We didn't actually have a dark age. Things were great. You've got to be absolutely kidding me. All right? Guys, these people are in such copium, and they will pop up and start lying and coming up with nonsense. This is the video that we were watching earlier. And the interesting thing regarding this video is that if you look at the comments, they are absolutely disgusting. They are absolutely disgusting. They're absolutely disgusting. They're absolutely disgusting where women are basically saying that men who have anything to say about this new policy where extreme misogyny will be treated as terrorism via Homeland Security. They're basically, look at the comments. Look at these comments from women. Men that feel attacked by this are so funny to me, laughing my butt off, like way to out yourself. And the creator goes, right? They're literally showing themselves up so bad right now. This person has 500,000 followers on TikTok. So you can exactly see what's going on. Check out this comment. Why are YT British men so angry about this? And Noor goes, they've gotten away with being held accountable for misogyny because it's been racialized. Maybe she's radicalized, meaning the MOC has been seen as the real sexist, but misogyny knows no color. Let's keep on going. Zach says, this is just another Me Too. This is only going to alienate men more. Bring some laws for misandry. And then of course there's a response from a woman. You realize they're bringing this law, and because the rates of problems against women are growing at a massive level, not because they just thought it would be a fun idea. Another comment from a crow: people acting like they're personally attacked that they can't be sexist. No response. Don't you see they won't have any more jokes to make their friends fall in love them? Yeah, terrible grammar. The patriarchy says, I support this. This helps adults to talk to kids about patriarchy and misogyny. I wrote a children's book. It's called The Patriarchy, and it's available now. Peter says, why stop at extreme? Any misogyny should be punished, online and real. And then someone responds, tyrant. Rufus says, attacking free speech just like the Gestapo, and people like you support it. No response to free speech of misogyny. Cool. Seth says, are there any examples of what would be classed as extreme misogyny? And will misandry be treated likewise? Obviously not. My child put me on TikTok. Unless you want to end up like what's going on in India, it's a good idea to do something. Sarah says, I love this woman. I knew she'd make a good home secretary. So yeah, guys, most women are in complete celebration for this new policy. They're celebrating that this is happening. They could care less about, how it affects men. Because guys, these people don't like us. These people absolutely don't like us. There's no one, guys. There's nothing or no one more hated than men in Western society. Men are hated, specifically heterosexual men are hated more than cockroaches in Western society. It is a sad reality that all of us, have fallen into, but it is reality. When they say these things, when they do these things, when they leverage these comments and statements against us, it's perfectly fine. But if men were to ever do anything like this, or the state was to ever do anything like this to women, they would be all up in arms. The thing that women don't understand is that they don't rule over the state rules over them. And when men, once men have been silenced, and men, and there are no men to stand up to the state then turns around and tells them what they can do and what they can't do. They think that they're going to enjoy some special special position with the state. They don't understand that, right now they're getting all the free cookies and milk that, that they can handle. But eventually, it's nothing for everyone. The state takes back everything and says, yeah, no more cookies for you, no more candy for you, no more chocolate for you. And they're like, what are you talking about? I helped you build this house. We are partners. You do what we say. We're the ones. We have the power. You're nothing without us. And that's when the state just goes, no, you have it twisted. This is our house. We built this house. You were just useful idiots. Now your job is now done. And if you do not obey, well, you saw what happened to the men. And that's that's all there is. This is only going to lead to more division from men, more men avoiding society. And as you can see, this is a greater attack on the manosphere, attempting to shut down the manosphere. It's much more difficult now to shut down the manosphere because you have channels like Graham Stevens. You have tons and tons of channels that center around real estate and not just dating, but they basically areas that that don't have anything to do with dating and relationships. But so it's very difficult. And if you look at Rumble right now, Rumble is huge. You have people on Rumble that have like over 1 million subscribers, like just like some. And I'm like, what the living hell? I had no idea that Rumble had grown so much. Like you have people on Rumble that are throwing up numbers like YouTube numbers, and I'm like shocked about this. So people who are, it's like who have these beliefs, they're moving over to Rumble. They are moving over to Rumble. And the way that YouTube is going right now is YouTube is positioning itself to get broken up. Like right now, they're pushing to break up Google. They're talking about breaking up Google. And when I say breaking up Google, I mean breaking up literally every piece of Google, breaking up YouTube, because YouTube is a monopoly, breaking up Google search engine, breaking up Google AdSense, breaking up all these different aspects of Google, even potentially even breaking up Android. And it makes and why would you say this? Well, because guys, how many options do you have for phone services? How many different phones can you choose from? Oh, you go, well, we have all these different brands. Yeah, but they're all Android. And I bet you didn't know that Google has contracts with all of these stores, everything from Metro PCS to T-Mobile, to prevent you, that in many cases that could prevent you from being able to access, alternatives. These brands, everything, it's insane. It's very, very difficult. And for example, there are policies on the App Store and everything else. And if you don't have this, then well, boom, you can't use their products and services. You can't use location services. You can't offer this, guys. It's going to be a massive breakup. We potentially, because it's like the companies are getting richer, we're getting poorer, and we are being silenced. And what they do is, again, they try to they silence men so that they can do whatever they want in society, and they use women to do this. I've said this before. If you want to destroy a country, destroy the men. And if you want to destroy the men, use the women to destroy the men. Women are going to find themselves struggling, finding poverty, homelessness, a lot of destitution, hardship, because women were not designed to live without men. And it's only going to further push men away from women in society. But they don't care. They really, really don't care, guys. By the way, subscribe to our newsletter for my personal thoughts, insights, and a free copy of my ebook, The Blueprint for Escaping the Rat Race. Click the link in the description to get your free copy. Also, subscribe to the Angry Guy Clips channel, where we post shorter videos and video responses, and also the Angry Guy Live channel, where we live stream. Both channels are linked in the description. And guys, you see what's happening. Do not mess around. Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Click the link in the description to get started and to support the channel. What do you guys think regarding all of this? Society wants to make life unbearable for men. Let me know your thoughts, and we'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, men walking away. And cheers.